Imagine, for a moment, waking up every day without knowing where you'll sleep at night, without food, without a roof over your head, without even a familiar face by your side. Imagine living in a place where hope seems distant, where dreams seem to belong to another reality, not your own. Now, imagine that, even at the bottom of the abyss, where all eyes seem to pass you by without noticing, you find within yourself the power to change everything. The power to take that moment of despair and transform it into something great. Something that would not only change your life, but also leave an eternal legacy. This wasn't just a possibility for Paul DeJoria. It was the reality he lived, from a man without a home, without resources, with nothing but his willpower. He turned adversity into his ally and created $2 billion brands, a luxury cosmetics brand, Paul Mitchell, and one of the world's most renowned tequilas, Patrón. Paul didn't just overcome the odds, he defied them. And most impressively, he used his own suffering as fuel, never allowing circumstances to limit his vision. From scratch, he didn't just build a business, he built a legacy, but he didn't do it alone. Every step of this journey was marked by challenges and obstacles that seemed insurmountable. He faced the kind of hardships many of us can barely imagine. He had to fight against the odds every day, against a system that seemed designed to leave him behind. With each defeat, he rose stronger, more determined not to be defined by the circumstances around him. From homelessness, without a roof over his head and with his future completely uncertain, he rose, determined to build something bigger than himself. Paul DeJoria didn't have an easy path, but he knew that, deep within the pain, there was a hidden strength, a flame he could never let go. And against all odds, he did the unthinkable. He became a billionaire. He founded two of the world's most recognized and respected brands, Paul Mitchell and Patrón. These brands aren't just successful products, they're symbols of resilience, courage, and an unbreakable spirit that never gave up, no matter how much life tried to knock him down. Paul DeJoria is, without a doubt, the embodiment of a universal truth. No matter how difficult the road, no matter how many times you fall, anything is possible. The key isn't where you start, but the strength you find within yourself to keep going. And he found that strength, turning every bump in the road into a step toward the impossible. Paul DeJoria hasn't had an easy life. His journey has been marked by falls, failures, and challenges that could have been the end for many. He was twice homeless, living on the unforgiving streets of Los Angeles, where the fight for survival becomes a daily battle. Without food, shelter, or prospects for the future, Paul faced a reality where hope seemed distant, almost inaccessible. But what truly defines Paul DeJoria's story isn't the hardship itself, but how he turned those hardships into fuel. He used every setback, every rejection, every sleepless night as a reminder that his story wasn't yet written. Instead of succumbing to the weight of adversity, he chose to use pain as motivation, as a force that propelled him toward something greater, something greater. He didn't allow himself to be a victim of his past, he was the architect of his future. Because, ultimately, today's pain is tomorrow's strength. Every challenge he faced, every obstacle he overcame, was what gave him the resilience to build an empire, to conquer what seemed impossible. He didn't see hardship as a burden, but as an opportunity to grow, to reinvent himself. Paul knew that what he was going through wasn't the end of his story, but merely the beginning of a new chapter. With just $20 in his pocket and a vision burning in his mind, Paul DeJoria didn't have the luxury of a vast fortune or powerful connections, but he possessed something even more valuable, an unshakable belief that, even from nothing, he could create something great. He knew that true power lies not in the amount of money you have, but in the strength of your vision and the determination to turn that vision into reality. And so, with courage and an innovative idea, Paul founded Paul Mitchell, a cosmetics brand that would change the beauty industry forever. In the beginning, he faced unimaginable challenges, from financial difficulties to investor distrust, but his passion and perseverance transformed Paul Mitchell into a name synonymous with quality, luxury, and innovation. With a vision of creating affordable, high-quality beauty products, Paul redefined the market, breaking barriers and establishing a legacy that endures to this day. But as we know, Paul DeJoria wasn't one to rest on his laurels. Just when everyone thought he'd already reached his peak, he took a bold and unexpected step. In a move that surprised even the most experienced in the industry, Paul founded Patrón Tequila, a premium brand that would forever transform the spirits market. In a world saturated with common options, he created a high-quality tequila that would become a global icon. Patrón wasn't just a successful brand, it became a symbol of excellence, luxury, and sophistication. What Paul did was more than launch products. He built empires. He didn't just enter competitive markets, he reinvented them. His ability to see opportunities where others saw only obstacles is what makes him a true legend. Paul didn't just make history, he wrote a new chapter on what's possible when you believe in the impossible. Have you ever imagined what you could achieve if, instead of doubting yourself, you decided to fully believe in your potential? What if, instead of allowing yourself to be consumed by insecurity, you took every challenge as an opportunity to grow? What could you accomplish if, even when the whole world seems to turn its back on you, you maintained firm faith in your own strength? This is the true essence of the power behind stories like Paul DeJoria's. He wasn't just someone who achieved success, he was someone who, in a moment of utter despair, chose not to succumb. He believed, even when there seemed no reason to believe. And this belief not only changed his life, but inspired millions of people to follow a path that, until then, seemed impossible. Now, imagine if, instead of waiting for external change, you were the agent of that change. And if you sense that within you lies something powerful, something yet to be unleashed, perhaps this is the time to take the first step toward your true potential. No matter how long or difficult the road ahead may be, what matters is that your own path may be just a step away. All you need to do is take that step. Believe me, the future you've always dreamed of begins with the decision to trust yourself. You have within you the same strength that led Paul DeJoria to overcome all adversity and create an empire. What you seek is already within you, waiting to be unleashed. If you're ready to transform your life, to take that first step that can change everything, then don't miss the chance to be part of this journey. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, because here, together, we'll explore stories like Paul DeJoria's stories that not only inspire, but challenge everything you knew about success. Success isn't something distant, something only a few can achieve. It's not a fixed destination, a final point to be reached. Success is an ongoing journey, a path of learning, overcoming, and above all, choices. And the great truth that many people fail to see is that true success begins exactly where you are right now. It begins when you decide it's time to take the first step, even if the path seems uncertain. And you're about to discover just how incredible your own journey can be. No matter what you've been through or what you're facing right now, what matters is that every challenge is an opportunity for growth, and every mistake is just a stepping stone to the top. Success isn't for the privileged few. It's within reach of all those willing to believe and dedicate themselves. So, if you feel that something inside you is crying out to be awakened, if you're ready to change your life forever, let's walk this path together. Sign up and be part of a community seeking true transformation. Your journey to success begins now. But Paul DeJoria's journey was anything but easy. On the contrary, it was filled with obstacles, failures, and challenges that would have made anyone else give up. He wasn't spared by life's hardships. In fact, he was fired from jobs, faced countless rejections, and at times saw everything he had achieved taken away. As if the world were against him, each loss felt like a hard blow. Each closed door seemed like a sign that he wasn't destined for success. But Paul DeJoria didn't let his failures define him. He didn't let them be his downfall. He used them as learning experiences, as fuel for the next attempt. He understood something profound and liberating. Failure isn't the end of the journey, but rather the beginning of something new, an opportunity to start over stronger and wiser. Instead of surrendering to pain and despair, Paul decided to use each obstacle as a chance to grow, to reinvent himself. He understood that every mistake, every rejection, was shaping the person he needed to become to achieve true success. He knew the path to the top wouldn't be linear, that there would be stumbles, falls, and difficult moments. But he also knew that, deep down, these moments were necessary for him to get there. Paul DeJoria didn't give up. He got up after every fall, and each time, he became more resilient, more determined to prove that failure isn't something to fear, but a fundamental step in the process of becoming the best version of yourself. Today, Paul DeJoria is recognized worldwide as the face behind to brands that not only dominate their industries, but have become synonymous with excellence and innovation. The man who once lived on the streets of Los Angeles is now the founder of two global empires, each with a profound impact on their respective industries. Paul Mitchell is more than just a cosmetics brand. It has become a true icon in the beauty world, known for its unparalleled quality and its role as a reference in hair care. Paul Mitchell is not just about products, but about a philosophy that values innovation, ethics, and accessibility, providing world-class luxury and care to millions of people around the globe. The brand has established itself as one of the most respected in the market, earning the trust of consumers and transforming the cosmetics industry forever. And if you think Paul DeJoria stopped there, you're unaware of his audacious vision. He went beyond what many imagined possible and founded Patrón Tequila, a premium tequila brand that quickly established itself among the best in the world. Patrón isn't just a drink, it's a symbol of sophistication, quality, and luxury. Considered one of the most prestigious tequilas globally, Patrón elevated the concept of tequila to a premium experience, winning over discerning palates and becoming an icon in the beverage world. These two brands, Paul Mitchell and Patrón, are not just examples of entrepreneurial success. They are living testaments to the power of vision, persistence, and dedication. They represent the journey of a man who started with nothing, but never stopped believing in his potential, creating not one, but two billion-dollar brands that today are synonymous with quality, luxury, and legacy. But what impresses me most about Paul DeJoria, what truly makes his story even more inspiring, is the fact that, despite all the success and fortune he built, he never forgot his roots. He never strayed from the harsh reality he lived in, the hardships he faced on the streets, nor the lessons these experiences taught him. Paul didn't use his wealth to distance himself from the real world or to live in a bubble of luxury and privilege. On the contrary, he used his fortune consciously and generously to support social causes that truly matter. He understands what it's like to be forgotten, ignored, what it's like to be at rock bottom and feel like the world has no place for those with nothing. That's why he invests in initiatives that transform lives, especially those of people who were where he once was, helping those who struggle as he did. Giving a chance to those starting from scratch is part of Paul DeJoria's legacy. He created foundations and was involved in numerous projects focused on education, the fight against poverty, and promoting opportunities for those who, like him, face enormous obstacles. Paul hasn't forgotten where he came from. He hasn't forgotten how difficult it was, how impossible it seemed to ever see the light at the end of the tunnel. And that's precisely why he dedicates so much of his energy and resources to ensuring that others can also overcome difficulties and have the chance to write their own success stories. He knows that, in the end, the true value of all wealth lies not in what you accumulate, but in what you do to improve the lives of others. Paul DeJoria, more than a billionaire, is an example of humanity, of someone who chose to use his success not only for himself, but to reach out to those who are still struggling, showing them that, yes, it is possible to start from scratch and reach great heights. If Paul DeJoria's story touched you, know that yours can be transformed too. Paul wasn't born with a preordained destiny, nor did he have it all easy. He faced the same fears, the same uncertainties, and perhaps even the same doubts you have now. But what he did differently was believe. He believed in the power of his own transformation. He believed that life could be different, that he had control over his own destiny. And if he could do it, why couldn't you? Each of us carries within us the ability to change our reality. The key is to realize that the power to change has always been in your hands, perhaps hidden among the difficulties of everyday life, but waiting to be unleashed. The first step is simply believing that you have the power to turn. The key to break down barriers and to achieve what, until now, seemed impossible. No matter where you are right now, or how difficult things may seem, the starting point for any transformation begins with an internal decision. The decision not to settle for what is, but to pursue what can be. And like Paul DeJoria, you have everything you need to do this. The only thing missing is your faith in yourself and the commitment to move forward, one step at a time. So if you're still searching for something that gives meaning to your own journey, if you feel there's more for you to achieve, remember, what you could achieve tomorrow depends on what you decide to believe and do today. Transformation begins the moment you believe it's possible, and the world begins to change when you decide to take the first step toward that change. If this video resonated with you, if Paul DeJoria's story somehow touched something within you and sparked that spark of inspiration, then the next video on our playlist will take that inspiration to a new level. It will show you that the transformation you seek isn't far off, it's closer than you think, and it's in this next step that you'll discover how to overcome even more challenges, how to break through the barriers that limit your potential, and reach that next level of achievement and fulfillment. Join us on this journey. This isn't just any journey, it's a journey of transformation, growth, and discovery that everything you imagine to be impossible can, in fact, be possible. If you're here now, it's because something inside you already knows you have the power to change, to go further, to achieve what seems unattainable. We're not alone in this. We're creating a community of people who believe that impossible is just an empty word, a concept that has no place in our vocabulary. Together, we'll push limits, achieve our biggest dreams, and step by step, make a difference in the world. So don't stop here. The best is yet to come. Let's join us on this journey of transformation, because the impossible is just the beginning of what we can achieve.